You are listening to the Novel Writing Podcast, episode 20. Grab a cup, cozy up, and let's get to writing. Today's episode is the 16th of 60 daily episodes that pair with the videos of Haley's 60-day novel writing challenge. You can watch the first 5 days of the challenge for free on Haley's YouTube channel, and the link to that is in the description. Day 16 of the challenge is about organizing scenes. At this point, you probably have a huge jumbled list of ideas, since the first 15 days are really about idea generation, and now it's time to organize them. Looking at this task head-on can feel overwhelming for many writers, because all your brain sees is the huge list and then decides it's too much to deal with at one time. The trick at this stage is to start with a single scene, and it doesn't matter which. Literally, if you find yourself concerned about which scene to start with, you could just close your eyes and point at one. It does not matter. And this goes for a lot of things, including story ideas. If you have multiple, it does not matter which one you pick. The next thing writers can get hung up on is whether to put the outline in chronological order for the timeline of events in the story, or chronological order for the reader. If it helps you write the story by putting it in timeline chronological, then do that. But if you want to be able to tell the story itself from start to finish for the reader, then I suggest putting everything, including flashbacks to past event, in reader chronological. But again, it doesn't matter. You can always reorganize scenes later, and if it helps you write the story faster by putting them all in timeline order, then do that, and write from that. Sometimes we can get great ideas for the main plotline by knowing what happens in the past, whether it's 10 years or 100 years or 1,000 years. In my story, I have a huge war pre-book 1 that impacts everything in the main series, but I haven't written the actual events of the war because they're not pertinent to the main storyline. Certain events are, and I know those, so when I do write the books that cover the Valen War, I already have some core timeline events from having written them down for the first series. Remember, you don't have to include every single idea in your book. Some of them are backstory ideas. Some ideas only exist to inform you as the writer where someone is coming from or where something is going. I have a lot of backstory for my series that will never make it into the main storyline, despite how cool I think it would be to reveal it. This is why we end up seeing world history books for fantasy series like Game of Thrones. There's just so much in the world and in the backstories of all the characters in the kingdoms that George R.R. Martin had enough to write an entire book just info dumping. And the same is true with Lord of the Rings. So yes, while we don't really info dump in the story itself, we can in fact info dump and turn those into books down the line. Just don't start with that book in particular. That's it for this companion episode to Organizing Scenes. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you tomorrow for day 17. Thanks for listening to the Novel Writing Podcast. If you're ready to stop struggling and start finishing your novel, check out the 60-Day Novel Writing Challenge. It's a step-by-step program designed for solo writers to complete their first draft with clarity and focus. Visit the link in the description to learn more.